while most people are laughing and kikiing it up, and people are upset over, I feel, are minor things. There's a bigger picture here. There's a bigger conversation that we should be having around this. So Druski dropped a skit about white NASCAR fans. The skit was called "When You're Happy to Be an American." And listen, the video went viral, right? It did what it was supposed to do. It was mega viral. I'm talking 2 billion views. Even the makeup artist who did the work is getting all kinds of praise. There's articles like, "Who is she? Who are they? What's their name?" The makeup artist behind Juicy's skit found. And to be fair, as far as craft goes, A+ job. Now, some folks, black and white, found it funny. No problem at all. Right? They love comedy like this. Right? Others, mostly white folks, took offense. Right? And there, of course, there's going to be some that take offense to this, right? Because they're going to constantly bring up the double standard and why can they do it and we can't. And then there are black folks saying, hey, it's fine as long as it's not blackface. But here's where I don't get, and here's what I don't understand. How could any black person really be okay with this? How can any black person really be okay with this? Never mind the cultural trauma of blackface. Never mind the hypocrisy that if this had been a blackface skit, the temperature would have went up 100,000 degrees. So for me, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than the hypocrisy. It goes deeper than the trauma of blackface. And today we're talking about the invisible, unnoticed impact skits like this have on the black community. See, you think the joke is about rednecks. Yeah. Yeah. See, you all out there, you think the skit is making fun of rednecks. But ha ha, the joke is on us. I've seen a lot of people comparing this and saying and defending and saying stuff like, well, uh Robert Downey Jr. did blackface and it was okay. People didn't have a problem with that, right? And that's Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. But the thing is about that is, with Tropic Thunder, we all got the joke. We were all in on it. We understood the context of why he was dressed up the way he was. He was a dude playing another dude. We got that. But as he was playing that dude, he didn't do anything vulgar. He didn't uh 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 show black people in a negative light. Matter of fact, dude was so pro black that that he quoted the theme song from the Jeffersons to express his pain. Druski's skit, on the other hand, it started out that way. I did find parts of it funny. It started out that way for me. I was like, oh, this is good. But then when that black guy walked by and he spit at his feet, why? Why? I can tell you there was 25,000 NASCAR races this weekend, and you're probably the only person that did that to a black person. The part where he pulls up in the truck and the white black guy's walking by, and he's like, "Hey," and he stops him, and he hangs out the window and says, "You lost, boy." Where you hit it? To the NASCAR race, sir. To the NASCAR race. Well, you better go find something safe to do. Now, first of all, I do believe that black guy was in on the skit because he called him sir, and nobody gonna stop and be interrogated by a redneck on on the side of the road and talk about yes sir. Man, probably places like that. If they are, you're from that place, comment down below, let me know, so I can apologize that black people were still saying sir and yes sir to white people. While I was watching that skit, a phrase came to my mind. I started thinking, right, and that phrase came from no other than George Bush. George Bush once used the phrase the soft bigotry of low expectations. That phrase alone sounds powerful, right? The soft bigotry of low expectations. The soft bigotry of low expectations. Now he used this phrase to describe how minority and low income kids were being failed in schools. Not because they couldn't learn, but because teachers and systems assumed less of them. They were passed along quietly and kept at a lower standard and excused for mediocrity. So, in layman terms, school standard is here. Everybody else is being held to this standard. But based on your income, right, your minority, people will think less of you. So, guess what? Your standard is here. So, therefore, if my standard is here and your standard is here, which one's going to get farther in life? How are you going to compete for a job this way? Compete for education, scholarships. Be competitive. And because we expect less of you, we're going to excuse mediocrity. I get past. Go. Yeah, yeah. You can make black you can make white face. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Black people, you can make white face. Okay, but no other race, black, Chinese, Asian, right? White, Chinese, Asian, Russian, Iranian, Crumanian, wherever you're from. Nobody else in the country, in the world, on God's green earth. Try this. Only black people, okay? So that's why that phrase came to my mind. Because I can apply that same idea here. Kids like this lower the bar. Not just in schools, but in how black people are represented, treated, and even how we view ourselves. And when the bar is low, the result, social accountability disappears. There's no social accountability. You are the way you are because of your environment, your space, your mom. You have no dad. Whatever went on in your life, that's why you are where you are. We do not blame you for your behavior. It's okay. When there's no social accountability, people are afraid to speak up because they're afraid of being labeled. That's why black fatigue is real. When people see us accept the lowest standards of ourselves, other groups stay quiet out of fear of being labeled racist if they criticize it. I was watching the NFL and I used to see players do this celebration. In the street, that means wiping his nose, right? They say I wiped his nose. Right? You hear the rap songs. Don't get your nose wiped. Get your nose cleaned. What it means is it's a gesture that means I robbed him. I got a lick. I had my way with them. And for the longest time, no one said anything that allowed this celebration to go on until this year when they finally banned it. The NFL let that goes on forever, even though they have, don't be racist and all these pro, anti-racist sayings in the end zone and on their helmets, but yet they're afraid to say something about this because they're afraid how it might look, how it might be contradictory to their message. This is why teachers on TikTok are doing the naughty bop dance with their students. This is why Serena can crip walk on the Olympic stage. Gang culture rebranded as mainstream entertainment. Nobody checks it because either they don't know, don't care, or they are too afraid to say anything. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Many black people have spoke up. And you know what they're labeled. We can't allow that to be the main culture. But it's hard when you have our voices get ignored because the majority of the people speak up on our behalf, like white people do, uh, all too often. I don't have a problem with it. I seen it. I thought it was funny. I ain't got no problem with it. Okay, you don't have a problem with it. Why would you? Why would you? You don't understand.
Bro, the No Fun League strikes again as they just banned the nose wipe celebration.
Lamb left alone.
They're considering the nose wipe celebration as a violent gesture and will be a 15-yard penalty if performed. How is wiping your nose like this a violent gesture? Is this like wiping? Is that what they think it is?
Not only do you not have a problem with it, you don't have understanding of how it impacts. And here's the official. When we laugh at skits like this, when we excuse it because at least it's not blackface or it's just a joke, we're lowering the bar for ourselves. That's the soft bigotry of low expectations at work. Not from outsiders, but from within. And when we stop holding ourselves accountable, society stops holding us accountable. That's how damaging stereotypes sneak in through comedy, through music, through sports, until they shape how we're seen and even how we see ourselves. And by the end of that skit, I realized the joke isn't on NASCAR fans. The joke isn't on rednecks. The joke is on us.
Bro, the No Fun League strikes again as they just banned the nose wipe celebration.
Lamb left alone.
They're considering the nose wipe celebration as a violent gesture and will be a 15-yard penalty if performed. How is wiping your nose like this a violent gesture? Is this like wiping? Is that what they think it is? But one of the main players that used that celebration was